I have a question for you guys though, because there's I try to keep up with Star Wars as much as I can, of course, but there's something coming out coming soon that I know you mentioned the Acolyte. I know there's a few other things like on the horizon. One, I have no idea what it is at all, and please enlighten me. There's a few new shows coming out. I every time I see the name, I'm like, is that a show? What is this? And I feel terrible that I brought this up and I can't bring up the name, but it's not Acolyte and it's not Skeleton Crew. Yep. What is Skeleton Crew? I know nothing about it. I keep seeing it on things like this is coming soon. Skeleton Crew. Does anyone know what this is?
It's a children's program.
No.
It's called Skeletons to scare them?
It's like Mystery Science 3000.
No. Oh my
All
God.
that name.
Okay. Joe's just, stating falsehoods, and Chris is being cynical. Skeleton Crew is basically going to be Star Wars' equivalent of Stranger Things. Look at it that way. It's Disney showing up to the party like 10 years later being like, we've got him this time, guys.
Is it live action?
1, 2, 3, 4. In this podcast, you will be here. Knights of Vader, includes, but is not limited to talk of Star Wars, not ray guns. We can't truly prepare you for the joke that follows this song, but hey, we gave it a try. So here's the Knights of Vader. Crystal Fox reports they are divided. Prequel, sequel, canon, love they fighted. I know that we are just musicians hired, and their time is up. So here's the Knights of Vader.
Impressive. Most impressive.
A big thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. It is January 26, 2025. My name is Zach Weber, and joining me today is Grand Admiral Zenger.
Howdy.
And we have Jetty Jaw Dandy, Joe Yazzo.
Happy 2025, everybody.
And the unbeliever with the mostest, Rus.
McClunky.
I ain't heard of no skeletons.
He already stole the idea of my nickname for the show. And we have, after a months-long hiatus, the Portius with the Mortius, Chris.
Hey, I guess, they lived up to their name. They did the thing where they say the title in the show and they showed a couple skeletons. Happy to be here, guys. It's been a long time.
Yes. We took a break from Alien coverage. We're holding back on that until the summer when we get a new Hulu Alien TV show. But yeah, we're here to discuss the thing that matters the most. Darth Vader went to Tatooine and murdered Watto. That's why we reconvened the podcast after 5 months, right, guys? To discuss the most important thing since Kiadi Monday's birthday is Darth Vader murdering Watto.
I mean, we all knew he had it coming for a long time. I know that, Vader had a lot of things on his plate. He was supposed to free all the slaves, yada, yada. Didn't ever actually happen, but... Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. When did Darth Vader murder Watto?
Am I the only one that follows Star Wars fan social media? That is all I see on my Twitter timeline. Is there's some new comic and Darth Vader murders Watto and everyone's just like, Watto wasn't that bad. That is the entire discourse. There's not been this much heat in the Star Wars fan base since Lesbian Space Witches.
Yeah, I find that totally implausible. You get to see Watto tells Anakin in one of the worst weeks of Anakin's life. Watto tells him to his face, "Yeah, I think I sold your mom 10 years ago. I can't remember to who, sort of. I might have to check." And they sort of left amicably. If he wasn't going to kill him then, I don't see it happening later on.
So I would like to point this out. I would like to take a moment because I feel they've already filmed this. Someone get me
Ahsoka season 2 material.
No. Someone get me an edit of, instead of whatever the therapist that was good to Jason Voorhees or the I was good to you, but it's Watto instead, and Vader just slicing into him.
Jason had a therapist? You talking about Michael Myers?
You're thinking of Loomis.
Friday the 13th movies, Jason have a therapist.
Oh, sorry, Michael Myers.
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah.
It was Friday the 13th night. Jason goes to therapy.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael Myers, I was good to you, and then Vader just...
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah. See, I knew it was some horror movie I don't watch. It's
All
not.
right.
If it was based on a planet made entirely of wood, I'd watch it.
Now that's a deep cut. Let's go back. Okay, back to Alien Talk, everybody. We did the token Star Wars discussion. Let's discuss the Planet of Wood from the Alien 3 pre-production.
Yeah.
How about a planet made entirely of gold pirate shillings?
You know, I gotta say they couldn't put that into the economy. It would flood the economy and completely ruin the fledgling republic.
I said the same thing, and I then told myself in my brain to shut up.
Did you give yourself a wedgie?
They're going to explain what all this money is being made for, right? Republic credits at that nobody even has, even pirates.
There was nothing. Like, it just stopped.
Yeah.
After those horrid X-Wing pilots shot down a ship above a populated area, I'm like, these are the heroes?
Well, first of all, they didn't even talk to anybody. They just arrive and start blasting like immediately. Like they just know what's going on.
Show up and start blasting. Bam, bam,
It's like they want every X-Wing pilot to be Wedge leaving the second Death Star. Like, all right, I'm on my way. I'm already on the way out there. All dead. Okay, bye.
Yeah, Wedge didn't shoot that tower in the reactor until he was asked to by his commanding officer. That's the point here, guys.
Hey, look, if the Lady Owl says, go kill pirates, what do? You got to go kill the pirates.
She's an owl. She sees everything.
So wise, so knowledgeable.
He's the wisest person we have. It goes Leia, the weird owl lady, mom.
The guy from the Senate inquiry during the Ahsoka series that's just like, you can't do anything, General Syndulla. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the chain of command. It's like 4 people in the New Republic.
And then Jack Black.
Yes, and Jet Black and Lizzo.
Yeah.
God, what are they going to do? They bring Lizzo back. She lost so much weight. You don't even recognize her. You're going to have to CG her up like I won't say. I'm not going to be mean.
Oh my God. Yes, folks, we are here to discuss Skeleton Crew, the latest Disney Star Wars content. Did something a little bit different this time as opposed to talking about these episodes on a weekly basis, as you are aware, not just for the podcast, but myself. I watched. What's that?
I don't think we could have done it. I don't think there's enough content. Some of the. I mean, we just all be quoting the best 33 lines, and then we just move on to the next episode.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I never heard of no Atten. Jod Nana Wood. But I have to say, when I delved into this show, I did not watch it week to week. I waited until the Tuesday of the final episode, and I binged watched the entire show that day. Or not that entire day. I watched, I think, the last few episodes that day. And I have to say, going into a Star Wars thing without expecting it to be the second coming of Christ, it's a rather refreshing experience to not have that buildup of oh man, this is good. Next week's going to explain it all. Next week is going to sit there, be the just, wow, somebody's going to show up. And I have to say, this show is refreshing in the grand scheme of things. It's by no means, it falls to the same pitfalls that all Disney Star Wars projects do. It's very clunky at times. But at no point did it feel intentionally abrasive like other Disney Star Wars projects.
Whoa.
This did feel very Guardians of the Galaxy at times, which became jarring. This felt at one point they even say Ravager, and I'm like, oh God, can we again after the Superman DC thing, is James Gunn going to make a Star Wars movie after this? That it felt like the complete takeover of Star Wars by Disney. This felt like a Disney product through and through in a way that no other Star Wars project has. And I don't even mean that as a negative. It just felt like a product of the Walt Disney Company and not a Lucasfilm venture.
Yeah, I feel like the first real thing, kind of geared towards kids, live action. Yeah, you could say Baby Yoda, very pandering and all that. It's still a pretty serious show. A lot of people getting taken out. Yeah, this definitely. I know everybody compared it to Goonies in the beginning. I was like, this isn't like Goonies. Goonies was were really crude, and they messed with each other. These kids were all dorks. These were not Goonies. There was no chunk. There was no, it was nothing like that, even though the pirate element is there, but definitely had that emblem kind of stamp on all of it. Some very blatant moments the moment to me that stood out is thinking Amblin and like E.T. When they're sending that probe thing out to leave the planet, it looked just exactly like E.T. ship. I'm like,
that looks like that's E.T.
ship. His ship. It looked like his ship was flying away. And a couple of moments like that. And I'd say the very end was the only Goonies kind of moment when the kid sees the X-Wing go by as if it's like, saying goodbye to the pirate ship. That kind of moment.
So this might just be my terrible opinion. Watching this, if it didn't say it was Star Wars, there was like little to no Star Wars in this. Take out the X-Wings and
the lightsaber.
And the space kind of laser sword still. But
that's true. There's that whole other movie, Rebel Moon.
Yeah. Did we just watch? Did they trick us into watching a Rebel Moon movie? No, my other thing that got me was there's a lot of no explanation. And Star Wars for me recently has done stuff to where it's like they get so close. Like they brush up against like doing something perfectly, in my opinion, and then they go and ruin it. So I don't think I was on for the final episode of Acolyte, but you know what? We all got what we deserved. They canceled Velma and they axed, season 2 of that. So we all got what we wanted, I guess. But
well, Velma got a season 2, so that's
but it didn't get a conclusion. Like I said, everyone got what they wanted, I guess. Good. But I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't want them to explain Jude Law. I don't want them to explain how he has force powers. I just want him to be someone who has force powers because I feel like if they make him a Jedi, one, the list of people who survived Order 66 is growing so fast. It's like, was it even an execution? Was it even an extermination? I think it was just we're going to kill these ones and forget about the other ones.
We'll teach a lesson to the rest on. We'll pick the rest off in video games and other content as we get to them. Well, I honestly thought I'll be honest, until the very end when he told the story, I really did think he just used magnets until I finally did. I thought everything he moved was made of metal or some kind of material. Until the very end when he messed with the kid, I was like, he's just tricking. Maybe Obi-Wan was tricking people.
I just was hoping that this guy was just somebody who discovered through just the will of the Force that he could because he never did anything over the top. So I was like, he's very base level. So I'm like, maybe he's just somebody who kind of figured out how to use the Force. And that's kind of was his thing. But then they, of course, had to explain, well, they killed him in front of me and they left the kid alive. How do you as child live?
Well, it happened to Cal Kestis.
It happens too much. It happened to Cal Kestis. It happened to what's his name? McDreamy from
Patrick
Rebels.
Dempsey.
That too.
Yep, and it happened to Sam Witwer too.
Yeah, you can't kill kids apparently, except that one kid.
Yeah, but you probably saw there was an actress sort of went public about her deleted scene as Jod's master. So like they were going to explain it even more, Zenger, but luckily for you, they backed off a little bit.
Like I said, I mean, am I crazy here? Like, I think it would have been more interesting for that just to like, was he a Jedi? Was he a Force? Like, what was his deal? But no, they explained out of the limited amount of stuff they explained, they had to make that one of the things.
Well, I do like the idea of like they've never had a character that's sort of just like discovered how to use the Force on their own. I've heard about it.
What about Broom Boy?
They did. Well, Broom Boy, but they did.
Wow, what a character.
Acolyte, all those the space women, they all figured out how to do it, and the Jedi killed them for it. Noted.
Well, they've probably been established as almost as long as the Jedi Order, like, but they're just not.
But the
very
Jedi
good
wouldn't stand
recruitment.
for something like that.
Yeah.
No, the Force is theirs to use and abuse.
Well, we got to wait for season 2 to find.
There's a season 2 of this?
Okay.
Of Acolyte, I'm at. I guess you guys saw, well, I guess I'm not seeing all the same news, but I saw that Acolyte was like the second most streamed thing on Disney Plus all last year, which they might be
hate streaming,
giving it second thoughts now. Like, maybe we can just make it about the guy everybody likes, the buff bad guy.
What was the first place thing on Disney Plus last year?
I think Percy Jackson. I think it's just, I think what I saw the thing Russ is referencing, I think it's original series or original projects on Disney Plus. Yeah, it was like something like 2.7 billion minutes, which that's just a stat. Like that doesn't really put anything into perspective.
Yeah. What did Empire Strikes Back get in its like 45th year of existence compared to that?
I think What If was number one, guys.
Was it What If? I
have no idea.
No, I don't believe that at all. I think that
it was a Lego holiday special, maybe.
Oh my God. But no, like one thing I will say, like this show, like in that final like 5-10 minutes, it just wraps everything up. Like in the sense of like not even wrapped up, it just ends. Like you see, what's his name? Oh my God, I said Guy Pearce. Jude Law just watches the pirate ship crash, and that's it. There's really not that much follow up. There's no like kind of
a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we didn't even get that. We don't even get anything. We don't even get a cute little bow on an ending. Like it's very much just like X-Wings and B-Wings show up, go all like 9/11 on this poor planet after the pirates just started shooting at it, and cue credits. It's like, man, like that just wrapped up neatly. Like, and that's like, and again, there's like a lot of exit. Like I will say, like, and this is a question maybe more for Chris, is that like I like the idea that the supervisor got the word that the Jedi are evil. But like nothing after that. Like all we do is hear all these stories about how the Empire is so credit starved and they're looking for resources. Yet somehow even Palpy was not aware of this happening, despite the fact that they were clearly in the fold during the Republic.
Well, he's going to sweep in and make some kind of new order or first order or something.
Well, it could be like that's the thing, right? Like Palpy was there the whole time. So we're talking about it's like the problem you guys have in the States where there's like a shadow government that keeps all the alien technology secret and the president doesn't get to know about it most of the time.
He's declassifying that right now as we speak. Give it a couple hours.
JFK stuff, but we'll see because, a lot of people have said that has some revelatory stuff in it. And if this new batch of documents doesn't, then that means you ain't getting all of it. But either way, basically this means Palpatine wasn't aware of where it was not like government knowledge where the credits are being produced, which seems kind of weird. Although there was a change of currency when the Empire took over, of course. So maybe, they started up a new coin foundry because that's something you need to have in your galactic empire.
Maybe Palpy knew the perils of hyperinflation.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an economist at heart. He was evil, but he understood how to not break the economy of the Republic.
What probably happened is the Imperial credits probably had like RFID tags in them so that Palpatine could better understand the galactic economy through tracking every single credit spent. And, the Old Republic ones are just gold. You can't have that.
Well, the other thing, too, is in Andor, they were saying, trade in your Republic credits for your Imperial credits. And they were trying to reform the currency that way too.
Yeah, amazing that you know that, Joe. I totally don't remember that at all.
No, he is right. I do remember that. They also had it. Didn't they have that also in the other crew show that no one cared about, but we all Bad Batch? Thank you. No, Joe, you have a very good point because see, the Old Republic the Republic ran off the gold standard. And Palpatine knew the gold standard could not be trusted, so he had to go. It's a good thing we have Russ, because we need somebody with conspiracy-level knowledge to help guide us through.
He was basically JFK, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
I don't know. Palpatine just knew he couldn't print gold credits. He needed to be able to build up the military through inflation, and he just couldn't do that on the gold standard.
He needs to build 2 Death Stars. Where's that money coming from? A planet that has like vaults of just gold sitting around.
Half the Death Star was just melted down Republic credits from.
Well, to be fair,
the other planet next to Atom.
The stockpile only got that crazy because they stopped coming to pick it up. Around the fall of the Republic, so they just kept making it, and nobody was coming to pick it up.
So like presumably, it's making AKs. They're like, you just got to keep making them. We don't need them. We can't. We have way too many of them already, but we got to make something.
But there's the question of like why. But the question is like, why is it that the last official communication was about the Jedi? Like, so they clearly saw a Palpy speech about like how the Jedi have like left me like scarred. Like they saw that message and then they just got completely cut off after that.
The real
Jedi
question.
toys and stuff
The
too. That was the
real-
one thing that kind of bugged me. I know we're getting used to the idea of toys in Star Wars. You know, even Luke had it, but the fact that I don't know the kid playing, I was like, okay, so you have Star Wars figures in Star Wars.
Crappy ones.
Yeah, like bootleg garbage. They're playing with.
Like Broom Boy at the end of The Last Jedi. Like they had a cute little like twine like
That's right.
Luke Skywalker figure.
So I'm just going to point this out. The Republic solution to problems, make endless credits. Palpatine solution, make endless Star Destroyers to float ominously on a planet out in the unknown region.
All right. Well, okay,
Who was more correct?
we don't acknowledge those events. It didn't happen.
Right, we don't.
But what's the big droid's name? Was it like the superintendent or something like that? Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Yeah, Super Nintendo.
The big robot. Maybe he took,
Big
like
Red Eye,
it's
I believe they call
yeah.
him.
He
HAL
probably
9000 Chalmers.
exactly. He probably realized that the Republic ended. And took the unilateral decision to stop telling his citizens that the Republic had fallen.
Maybe whoever was in charge of like getting a hold of them was like killed off, or maybe it was a droid.
Now, did anyone actually think that the supervisor would end up being the pirate guy they talked about the entire time, whose ship landed on this planet?
Captain Rennick.
And what was his name? I'm sorry.
Rennick?
Yes.
No one's ever truly dead.
That
No
was
one's ever
it.
truly
They don't
gone.
even. They don't bring him up again. I was like, that would have been a great like twist. That he's like, oh, you became a cyborg like this little girl or Lobot, and you were.
I'm pretty sure.
Russ, you're thinking too much. Like
no, but don't they literally go up to his dead body on the ship though?
There is a dead body on the ship.
Hey man,
I
we
think
watched a
they
guy
say-
got cut in half and thrown down an energy chasm and survived. Like that
Yeah,
means
but-
nothing. Skeletons mean
this
nothing at this point.
I guess.
Sabine got impaled. Like, come on. Like, how many times has Reva been stabbed? Like, death means nothing in Star Wars at this point.
You know who? No. I think if you look like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru after the flamethrower, I think you're dead.
Yeah, all right. Well, I
that's
guess
because they
I-
have plot armor.
honestly, I didn't even know who he was when they found that. So you can't show a body and then introduce his name like two.
No, I'm
videos
pretty
later.
sure they do say that that's him.
Okay,
I don't think I am arguing right now that since they did not properly reveal him, his thing was all static, that they're leaving it ambiguous for he might still be alive.
Yeah. I will say I give this show a lot of credit. It did suck me in the beginning. The whole pirate siege on the ship, that was pretty well done. We get to see some actual pirating in Star Wars live action like that, and shooting those things in there, those little boarding tunnels, everything.
That was cool.
And the guys outside the ship I'm like, these pirates have space suits and jetpacks, and they're going putting charges on guns. I'm like, oh, these are some pirates. And then you see him in the ship, and it's like, oh, it's the Wolfman, and there's a Snaggletooth in the group, and I'm like, wait a second, these are the same guys. Like, they seem very organized initially.
So I gotta say, no offense, none of these kids touched my heart. I could care less about all of them, but the side characters in this show, oh man, the entourage of just weird space stuff that I just loved. So you got the robot, everyone loved him, but you know who I love that we need more of? And I'm saying this with the Porg sitting beside me, so I'm fighting for a life size of that little pilot dude that like flew them from the ship to the space station.
Oh, the guy from the Ewok movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Just him running around. I was like, oh my God, this is why we need, like, he could not be CG and be this terrifyingly awesome.
Film accurate Teak showed up. I was like, all right, cool. Teak's in the house. I think that was even kind of spoiled. People were like, oh, it's going to be a Teak. And you seem like, okay, he did something. That was nice. As a super fan of all the Cantina stuff, it felt, that was purely all Star Wars. You know, a lot of eye candy, looking around all the monsters, especially when you go to the Pirate Outpost planet. Like, I love all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, definitely very kiddish too. But we're all Star Wars fans, so it sucks us in. I'll say I watched one episode with my youngest son, but he's 11. But he actually got into it by the end of the first one, so he kind of got sucked in. We haven't watched any more together, but it did register with him. He was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is like I like this." So.
Joe, what are your thoughts? You've been unusually quiet for this.
Well, I found it unusual that it didn't have Star Wars on the main title. That's the first thing I've seen on Disney Plus that hasn't really had a Star Wars title on it. The other thing too is, what was it? You said it yourself when we were talking before, Zach, that you didn't see any white armor.
Oh yeah, there's think about this is like think about
no white armor in there.
Name another major Disney Star Wars thing. Really, I'd say name any Disney Star Wars anything, movie, TV show, comic book, music video that does not have white armor in it. Like think about that. I cannot think of it's either clone troopers, stormtroopers, First Order troopers. This is the first Disney Star Wars thing that does not feature any version of a bad guy wearing white armor.
Acolyte.
I guess Acolyte, yeah, I guess.
I don't think they had anything like that. They just had Jedi, and it was no kind of security force at all. I guess they didn't need it. Yeah, they had those weird safety droids that are, I guess all droids are just hooked to one thing. If episode 1 taught us anything, you just take the main thing out. You can just take out all the droids at once. They have no autonomy.
No mention. Going back to Joe's point, also, no mention of the Clone Wars. Like, think about it. Like, clearly the supervisor was aware of the eradication of the Jedi, but no mention at all of the kids learning about the Clone Wars, no clone troopers. Like, even Andor, Chris's beloved Steak at the Rainforest Cafe, had the obligatory Clone Wars flashback. And this had the restraint not to do that.
I think because if they would have showed, like, when Wim's looking at his little iPad comic books, if there would have been any of that referenced the Clone Wars, it would have sort of signaled like how recently they've been in contact with the Republic. So like they should know about that, but it's important for you to like not know if they're aware of that. For them to like maintain their deception on the audience of like the mystery of when they lost contact.
Well, we know now exactly when at the end, but
yeah.
Well, the other thing too is the supervisor, they lost contact once the barrier went up, and the barrier was, if did
the barrier go up at the end of the Clone Wars, or was it?
No, it went up. The last transmission that they received was that the Jedi weren't to be trusted. They were all traitors.
So then they
probably raised the barrier up. The other thing too is the one thing that I keep thinking of is why didn't the ship that they were on get zapped? And I think they said it. It was the emissary ship. So it was able to pass through it was able to pass through the barrier.
Maybe he pirated it and got it.
Yeah, he probably pirated it and he armored it up so he could sit there and do that.
But they never explained what happened to the other planets either. I was thinking that maybe, this was some kind of Palpy revenge that we just didn't hear about.
Well, the one planet devolved into Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
for sure. Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, and then the other ones we hear about, but they don't really talk about them.
About the same. Lord of the Flies over there too.
But like I said, I kind of appreciate that they didn't go through and clearly explain every little thing, because I hate Star Wars being like, we're going to explain every single detail and have every moment, everything in the universe completely explained. Because I'm like, I ruined some of the magic.
Well, the other thing, too, is that going through my feed through the course of this whole show, it wasn't like there was any stories explaining things to me like there has been in the other ones, because they had a loose thread and they needed to make everyone, sit there and glom onto it. And, why are there lesbian space witches out in space, and why did the Jedi go there, and this, that, and the other thing? And they would have stories explaining why they did a certain thing, and people that were so-called experts sitting there and numbing it down for the rest of the filthy casuals so they could sit there and digest it and be like, oh yes, Star Wars. But there was nothing like that here. It was very passive as far as what they were doing and what they were actually. There was really no hype train to this whatsoever. I haven't seen anything like this since probably the beginning of Andor. And like Andor didn't really get that much hype in the beginning, But towards the end, it actually they started talking about it more and more because they're like, oh, this is the diamond in the rough. This is the way Star Wars is supposed to be. Oh, this is a return back to the original trilogy, Star Wars. And, what was it? Real sets, practical effects. Yeah. Oh, and they were sitting there and they were like doing unspeakable things through their computers because they can't wait to write the next thing.
Right,
but there was none of that here. None of that.
Too. When Andor came out, there was still like major releases and stuff, and
but they were focused on like Obi-Wan and look, Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett. This is going to revolutionize Star Wars. The Book of Boba Fett. And hey, did you hear about the Bad Batch? Oh, this is some great stuff here.
I remember that exact quote from Kathleen Kennedy.
How crazy is it that Vane is the only like character from anything else? Vane is just so unremarkable.
He's the Flea, like what Flea is to the Back to the Future franchise. That's what he is here. He's just here like egging on like the main character.
I mean, does the Wolfman count? I don't think he was ever in anything before. I mean,
no, but Vane's like an actual guy who's like a specific Nikto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't die in this, right?
I don't know.
I don't think we had an on-screen death. I thought old Greenbeard was supposed to be in this too. Is
Urkel in one of the other in Mandalorian season 3? Is he in that?
I don't think so.
I thought that old tentacle beard was supposed to show up.
Star Wars Davy Jones.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be the bad guy in this.
Doesn't he crash into Navarro? Like, doesn't his ship like kind of like doesn't he crash into Navarro? Like, I only watched Mandalorian season 3 once. Like,
I've seen Book of Boba Fett more than I think I've seen that season. Sorry.
No, they crash outside of Navarro because they're smart enough to shoot the ship down outside of populated areas.
You gotta love the idea.
Nobody knows. They know that nobody knows who these people are. They know they can go do whatever they want there. There's practice for them. You take out a few nerds on this planet, maybe you get some coin out of it. Who cares?
Those X-Wing pilots and B-Wings are just trigger happy to just like pirate ship go boom.
They're just shoveling the ground trying to get all those coins up too. Oh no, just cleaning up for you.
What happens below the barrier stays below the barrier. You know what I'm saying?
Well, even on like the casino like spa planet, like once again, like the X-Wings are called and they're just chasing the pirate ships through the planet. They're just like, nope, like we're not letting you. Like it's like a comical police chase almost. The X-Wing pilots are so bored they don't care what lead they get. They're just going to chase something down and shoot it out of the sky.
Yeah, that is a weird New Republic thing that we go through because it happens in Mando too, where they are just
they have some restraint in Mandalorian.
Yeah, they try to give him a couple of chances. They pull him over. They help him out.
That's because Carson Teva and Trapper Wolf, they have restraint. They're the good cops.
But keep in mind, we're in a continuity where the New Republic like really fumbles the bag within like 10, 15 years to the point where the First Order starts looking like a viable alternative to a lot of the galactic population.
Okay, but one thing I figured Chris will appreciate is look at this. Like we go back to Ahsoka and like Hera is going in front of like the president of the galactic universe and being like, I am a war veteran. I just witnessed this really weird, like giant hyperdrive being teleported out of nowhere. Can you please give me resources to go just figure out what's going on? No, general of the last war. You do not get your resources. Owl Woman calls. A bunch of kids are with some weirdo with a receding hairline. How many X-Wings can I have? You can have all the X-Wings. And every time she calls, they just throw all the resources at this. Like that's where like the Chris part of my brain comes in.
No, she says the P word. She says pirate.
She says, okay. Oh, is that what it is? Like the New Republic only cares about piracy. They don't care about blue-faced warlords.
It's like Thrawn. Wasn't he something like warlord? Or yeah, whatever. Wait, did you say pirate? Send in every goddamn thing we got.
Don't bring up the guys that blow up planets. We'll let them do their thing. Oh, pirates can't do anything. We can look. This is cool. This will make headlines.
So I'm excited to see how Thrawn is going to actually take over at and to use their resources to fund his new empire that nobody hears about. Ooh, did the First Order go and steal at and that's how they got all the funds?
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in a book at some point. There's some comic book that explains all this.
Oh, you wanted to know where all those Star Destroyers came from? You ever heard of Atten? Got a lot of money there.
Never heard of any Atten.
After this show, everyone will have heard of Atten. Isn't that great? Everyone in the whole New Republic. Imagine what it looks like by the time
Strip Mind
sequel trilogy takes place. It's just it's just wrecked.
No. Is Atten Starkiller Base? They strip the center out of it.
No,
we already know what planet that is.
Zenger,
I know we
it'll be
do,
the
but-
Star Killer base of the Rey movie that'll come out never. That'll be the plot.
We got a writer. Hold on.
They got a writer for the 6th time
writer.
in 3 years. They've got it this time. 12th time's the charm. Just ask Patty Jenkins.
You see a movie with 20 writing credits, you're like, man, a lot of people were just putting words down for this. You know it's awesome.
You know, I walked by the office and I got a writing credit.
Singer brought them Uber Eats one day.
I did.
This new Star Wars movie is brought to you by ChatGPT and Microsoft's Copilot and OpenAI.
And the Ridley sisters.
Well, you know, they probably still have that giant red baby from the deleted scene from episode 9 somewhere. You know, they're probably storing that in a warehouse somewhere. Let's put that in the movie. It's like the Wood Planet. It's the Golden Touch. Just put that big red baby in there.
Yeah,
and we'll
with
be
the
fine.
spider on his head. Is that the one?
Yep. The Eye of Webbish Bog.
That was it.
That's the name of the character. It's in the Rise of Skywalker novelization.
Is that a comic
is.
too?
God
Yeah.
dang it. God.
Remember that, Zenger, from 5 years ago? We read that.
You instantly, you said that, and just words and knowledge popped back in my head going, yeah, you thought you forgot about that.
Hey, man, I have one religion. It's called the Rise of Skywalker. It's a very lonely Sunday
Rewatched it
service. It's just
recently.
me at the pulpit. It's just
Zach.
me
I actually
alone by
wanted to-
myself.
I wanted to pump up its minutes. I've watched it this year. So
Good.
last year, 2020.
We doubled it. It went from 140 to 280.
Who was out here? We watch it.
Okay, so I have to ask. When it comes to Jude Law, Jod, Nana, Wood, Crimson Jack, oh God, what's Captain Silvo? I'm trying to think of all of his names in this. Okay, what's the deal with the helmet? The helmet's stupid. Joe and I were talking about this. We see him with the helmet, and it's just why are they trying to delude us into thinking that this isn't Jude Law? The helmet comes back, around episode 5 or 6. He starts wearing it for absolutely no reason other for 33 to punch him in the head with it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
will tell you why that is, because I have a very young baby in the house and we watch young Jedi Adventures, and the villain of that show is a young pirate who also wears the very same helmet, and that's been out for a while. This is basically a pirate helmet. Pirate leader helmet wears this style of helmet. As you can see, I'm showing the boys a toy of the little kid, the kid pirate in the show.
Who has does this character have a name, Russ?
I don't know. He's bad pirate boy, and he has a Gamorrean guard little buddy. Anyway, but as soon as I saw it, I said, he's a pirate. I know that helmet. He's a pirate guy because Young Jedi Adventures, the villain is a pirate kid.
Is this their way of telegraphing to the children in the audience? Did Russ just crack the code?
It's a clear reference to Young Jedi Adventures for sure. That if you watch that show, you're a little kid, you know that helmet. You see it every episode. You know that kid.
I thought it was Cobra Commander.
Well, I thought they were just trying to cross brand. You know, they still sell Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. It's just a 3-pointed hat helmet.
He's even going to dress like him if you look at this figure. It just could be a little Jod figure.
Yeah.
Know?
But, there are a lot of characters in Star Wars that just feel like wearing helmets for no reason. So he's just one of those guys.
Hold on.
How come does he have a helmet? Does he have a helmet in his package?
He does not. He has the weird head shroud. That's it.
I'm holding up the armor.
That's not even applicable to this conversation.
It's not.
I want the lightsaber from the spa planet. I do like that. That lightsaber is very Galactic Star Cruiser. It's very opulent. I like that lightsaber hilt.
Yeah, because it's an Old Republic one.
Is it? Or is it High Republic?
It has to be from it has to be from 100+ years ago, because no Jedi would use something that atrociously opulent.
Did Wim end up with that thing at the end?
Yeah, did he?
I guess so.
No, we don't see what happens to it. The show just ends.
Exactly.
Shot out of his hand. It's like The Force Awakens again. It's that's one hell of a pilot.
You get out of here, and never come back again.
He's not even arrested. We just see him like watching the ship get blown up, and he like it's like his story ends like Fight Club does. He's looking out a giant picturesque windows, like
was he
just
ever
fire
there to begin with? Then
Yeah, he started all. This
are you sure
his fault?
No. Are you sure he's even there? Because the kids are the only ones that seem to interact with him.
And the robot, but
I'm sorry, I'm digging into Zack's
and the pirate crew who were very nice.
Fight Club theory here.
Oh, he's Tyler Durden.
He's Tyler Durden for children. they
No,
all
that's the
wanted to have an
tagline on the
adventure.
toy. Tyler Durden for children.
Yeah, he was just Wim's. He was who Wim wanted to be deep down. You know, he wanted to be an adventurous pirate.
The Brad Pitt is Edward Norton.
Yeah, it was the Clatoonian the whole time.
Yep,
his alter ego.
Yep, exactly. We broke this. That's the twist you needed at the end of this at the end of this show.
You guys are talking about the end though, like so they finally escape from him. They close down the barrier, and then they're like, for some reason there's like a sense of urgency that they must race for the elevator, as if the X-Wing pilots are just gonna blow up the tower they're in.
They might.
It's like why is the tower in jeopardy? I don't understand. But and then it's like, after he had just held them all at gunpoint, like one of the kids like calls to Jod, like as the elevator doors are closing, like, "Come on, man!"
Yeah, because
we're good buddies now that you.
I stood up to you.
We do have to give them infinite amount of respect for not having him redeem himself and become like a rebel. Like come on, the amount of times we watch like a morally gray character become good in the last not even the last 15 minutes. Like Zenger, I'm getting flashbacks to the Battlefront 2 campaign where like our evil like main character becomes good like a third of the way in the game.
Part of the way, like 1/3.
That's what I mean. Like,
It's
you
like
gotta give him credit.
hundreds of rebels. So like, all right.
Every character becomes good. Like, it was nice to see him not immediately turn good. Like, he's kind of like morally gray through most of it. And he's an opportunistic pirate. Like, no more, no less. Like, he's a pirate with some level of complexity. It's not Hondo, like, just like chomping on the scenery. I'm surprised Hondo wasn't in this.
They're saving him. Filoni is like, I'm saving him. And yeah, you did kind of think he might turn good wearing that Lando shirt. The entire show, that blue open Lando shirt. I was like, he's got a Lando shirt. It's like Lando's always stealing everyone else's clothes. It's good to see it go the other way for once.
That's pretty good. I didn't notice that it was a Lando shirt, but now that you mention it,
it's very Lando-esque.
Yeah, all right. What's the next cynical, stupidest thing in the whole show? Let me think.
What about the ship? What about the ship?
Crabs? What about them? What's going on with trash crabs?
They were great.
Weren't there like trash crabs in Ahsoka also that like led them somewhere?
They're like turtle people.
No. Yeah. The completely different thing.
They didn't have a leader monster that tried to kill everybody.
Different crabs. Got it. All right, they're a different primitive crab society. I forgot.
Why is that on the spa planet too? That planet was weird. There was a lot going on there.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be. It's the same thing as like in the real world. You have something that people use. It's like, oh, we're gonna strand you on a desert island. Now we're gonna go on a cruise, and you guys get to get off the ship and have the luxury of going and hanging out on a desert island. Stuff in the past that's torture is now just considered rich and luxurious.
Yeah, how about when the Hutt ate that little guy who was like cleaning him?
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, allegedly. He said, I think he says not again as he's being eaten, which really I'm struggling to figure out what's going on there.
Wait, is that the big guy in the spa?
Well, there is a Hutt. But yeah, there's another big monster, but there's also a Hutt in a mud bath.
Yeah, there is.
And then the banking clan guys, you had some.
You got to see him from a distance.
Yeah, the banking clan guy with a towel wrapped around his head. That was pretty funny.
Big old Easter Island head. Yeah, those guys look weird everywhere, but.
All right, what's up next for the world of Star Wars?
Let's go back to speculating about Calrissian Endor Season 2, which we've only seen, like half of a trailer for at this rate?
Vision Season 3. We got Vision Season 3.
That's not the next thing on the docket.
It's coming up.
Andor's like in 3 months. But like, okay, but keeping on Skellington Crew for a moment. Like, I got to give Jude Law credit. Like, this is the first time in a while seeing an established actor in a Star Wars, and he's aware of the show he's in more so than anybody else is. Like, the child actors are solid. Like, at no point, like, is Wim annoying? Yes, but I think that's the point of Wim. Like, I like KB. Neil did not feel like a cynical cash grab to sell merchandise. And even Fern.
And
like
bathtubs. And bathtubs. Well, yes, his bathtub does look nice. If that was in the Galactic Star Cruiser, they would have sold more of those $6,000 voyage. Like, it's like, get this very luxurious like jacuzzi bathtub with like a skylight
and like
that
ships go over it. You can look at it,
imagine that. Like, I'd spend a little bit more money for that. But no, like Jude Law, like again, like the performances in this are solid. Like Jude Law, like I would genuinely say, I would look forward to that character, Jod Nana Wood, showing up in the Mandalorian and Big Whiskey movie. Like, I would, like, not saying he's a main character, but as somebody that, like, I don't know, whatever the plot of that movie's going to be. So to be that guy, they have to. I'd rather go to him than like Hondo or some other or like, oh, we have to go to like a decrepit Captain Rex with a white beard. Like, I would wholeheartedly rather see him show up than some obligatory misplaced fan service.
All right, I want to get my writing credit in now. Bill Burr is sent to another prison ship to break people out. There he is, Jod Narnar, and he takes him. But that's what I mean, though. Like, this show, like the performances, like even like Captain Brutus, like again, like a pirate Wolfman. Like, yes, we have seen Wolfman in Star Wars before, but with all like his gun strapped to his chest, and even how he's killed off is pretty effective. Like, the kids capture him like in the giant crane claw, and Jude Law just shoots him in the face. Like, it's good. Like, it's like, I wouldn't say it's solid. It's solid storytelling in a way that, like, it's not like the Electrolyte where we're just trying to weirdly like put like the pieces like back in the box. Like, it's like, oh, we can try to make this work. Like, it didn't feel like that. Like, yes, it does have its moments that just feel disjointed, but nothing I would call glaring. Like, this is the definition of like it's a double. It's the definition of that. Like, it's not going for the fences. It moves Star Wars along without really upsetting anybody. I know it's not what Disney wants. Disney wants everything to get the highest ratings, the highest grossing. So it's obviously
got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But they're happy with that.
Better than,
come on, 90%. What the heck's going on with civilization, man?
I think it's the last thing to get over.
Hello, Chris.
I think casuals can watch and go, yeah, I didn't need to think about it and look up anything. I just assume whatever's in front of me is what it is. Yeah, it's like cute, and some kids can watch and maybe get into more Star Wars. I hope that's the hope.
Get into a Star Wars, yes.
So what? Okay, so what did we think of the Onyx Cinder? Like, adding it to the repertoire of famous Star Wars ships. What did we? Like, I thought it was neat looking from the outside. Like, it felt like a real location in a way that, like, a Star Wars. Think about, like, I'm trying to think, what was the last time we had a Disney era Star Wars ship that felt like it had some presence? Not saying this thing's the Millennium Falcon. I'm not saying that, but like, it felt like it was a presence.
It's been 10 years. It was the U-Wing, and that's the only other one that's good from the Disney era.
Yeah. Yep. U-Wing. That's what I mean. Like,
and it did look even cooler when it lost its starboard thing. Whenever they blew it past up, it still had it had a kind of different but more defined look to it. It's a definite ship. And speaking of ships, I only noticed this because someone else pointed it out, but what looks like one of the Corellian Corvettes at the very end is actually like an original Millennium Falcon design, when the Falcon looked like more like the ship we first see in A New Hope. It's got a Falcon cockpit in the front of that thing, but it's got the Corellian Corvette rest of the ship to it. So that's its first time ever being on film. So that was like a prototype Falcon from the original they used.
So maybe this is me, but I got I just sent a thing to everybody so they can see. I mean, it's not exact, but it doesn't look like anything from Star Wars. It looks like something more from Mass Effect, with having the engines on the back, like the picture I just sent you guys of the Normandy. Long front, engines on back. Like I said, it's not exact. It's just once all the pieces came off of it, I'm like, oh, that looks definitely different. Also kind of vaguely Naboo and
Yeah.
Well, it felt like more like a pleasure yacht than it did like once it got stripped of its armor.
yeah.
But they hype up that lever so much, like you better not ever pull this, and all it does is get rid of completely cosmetic outer hull. Basically, it has like no.
Maybe those were known ships back in the day.
That was armor plating.
Yeah, but like, do ships in Star Wars really rely on armor plating? Like, even an N1 starfighter has energy shields.
I meant like it without any armor. They might have known. Oh, this is obviously one of the things that transports those Republic credits from those hidden planets. Shoot it down.
Could be the equivalent of a Brinks truck.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of like, because you're right. Somewhere it does say that was the ambassador's ship, right? Like theoretically, so either that pirate got the ambassador's ship and dressed it up, or like I guess that's the only thing. The only explanation there, really.
No, there's multiple, but they'll never give us that.
Did we get
Isn't
an
that
idea?
refreshing though?
It's great.
How long has the Onyx Cinder been crashed? Did they ever explain that?
Long enough, Mikey.
You have to assume about 20 years.
Oh yeah, the guy's a skeleton on there.
It's covered under dirt, like it's literally buried. Like it's not exact.
I'm saying
monkey was still in the robot's eye, so I don't know how long
he could have got out.
He could have got in.
Yeah,
moved around.
Generations of that monkey have lived in that robot's eye, right?
I'm just saying because
100 years.
Because if it is the ambassadors, if it is the guy who's supposed to come pick up credits, which it's not a very good ship for that, at the numbers they need to move credits. If it is that guy's ship, then it should be something in the neighborhood of Order 66.
No, it's further back than that. It has to be.
Yeah, but what's the interval that the ambassador comes around?
Maybe they had other ships. Maybe he stole just one of them.
These are the hard questions.
See, I'm saying it's got to be 300 years.
It can't be because Jod's aware of like what Captain Rennick was trying to do. Like Rennick was like this legendary story of like, like Rennick was always looking for like the treasure of like Atten.
Yeah, and 300 years isn't long enough.
Right,
but like, why would they? Okay,
like a pirate legend, but we know Star Wars, and it's like Luke Skywalker became a legend while he was still alive, and like, Luke Skywalker, and they're like, yeah, he's right over there. He's not
only did the planet have to be buried. I mean, the shuttle had to be buried. The planets had to have been forgotten, and the spa planet had to become a spa planet.
So if you're looking at the timeline of this show, it's within like the Mandalorian timeline, right?
Well, yeah, that's when it's supposed to be taking place.
It's roughly 30 years from the day like Order 66
30 to 40
happened.
years. I would say 30 to 40 years.
60 years altogether till they get to this. From Clone Wars to
but that's the question though. Is like, how is it? This is like, oh God, like the equivalent of the Federal Reserve printing money, and like there's no clone trooper presence. Wouldn't that be one of the first things like the Republic would have done with is send like a battalion of clones to like? That's what makes this. That's
even known.
But how? Like again, the bank
government.
But that's the question though. Like you think if you go back to like your Clone Wars, like the TV show, like the episodes with Padme where it gets really into the weeds about like economics and the banking clan. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Those episodes, watch them nightly.
As we all do. But that's what I mean though, is that like, was the banking clan involved with this? Like this show kind of does the right thing Star Wars wise. It asks more questions than it answers. It's like, okay, like again, some book or comic will explain this. Like at some point we'll see like an original trilogy focused comic where like Luke and Leia and Han go to like, oh God, they're like, they get this weird sort of like note about like the legend of Atten and like Captain Rennick, and they'll try to weirdly place it like, oh, that was the planet that like the Republic lost communications with the day of Geonosis. Like it's going to be some ham-fisted like thing like that. Like I could see it's gonna be the equivalent to like Chris getting mad is like when like in one of the Vader comics, like Masamita has Yoda's lightsaber throwing it like into the fire pit, and then like
Luke has
it.
It's a Vader number one.
It's going to be some contrived thing like that. Like, I think even the guy who wrote that comic, Chris, he's back again in the headlines talking about like being like, I guess what the new Kylo Ren comic is involving him hunting down like Order 66 survivors. And everyone's like, who did not survive Order 66? Was the only Jedi that were murdered the ones that was it really just Mace Windu and Kit Fisto that got dead that day? And then like Charles Soule is just like, no, it's just one Order 6 survivor.
Oh.
Sorry, Russ.
Where did all the elephant people go? I don't know. They're on some weird planet. We haven't seen them. I was going to let down. We see, what was his name? Neil's dad, but he looks so tough, but I thought he was going to beat a pirate up or gorge one with his giant tusks. I was like, oh, we got a big one. All right, this is going to be great. And he doesn't do anything. He just runs down the street.
How do you think he talks? Shame.
Nope.
Lost opportunity.
Yeah, I hate the Milhouse family. I don't like any of those guys. Like they're just all they don't look their physiology just does not look right having that head on a regular dude body.
Now I'm picturing the dad singing "Can I borrow a laser" or something. I don't know what he was saying.
Russ. Neil's dad works at the cracker factory.
That's right.
Yeah, those parents are getting divorced like any day now.
Any day.
And I believe spa suits could actually exist on this.
Everything's coming up, Neil.
I mean, come on, think about it. I mean, the kid spends his free time just sitting in a giant bath.
And he has Milhouse's exact haircut on top of his elephant head for some reason.
Him is Bart, KB's Lisa, and what's her face? The other girl, main girl. I don't know. It's like that babysitter that Bart had a crush on.
Sure.
Yeah, it falls apart.
Great name.
Burn.
But like I will say, like even the sentimentality moments, like with women, like KB, and he's like, fixing the part, like in her augmentation.
Yeah,
like it's effective. Like I'm not saying it's Oscar caliber, but it's effective storytelling. Like you believe you are buying the illusion, and that's even though as much as I love my Acolyte, I love my Ahsoka. There's no moment in either of those shows that's trying to have a genuine sentimental moment like that, and it working. And that's the thing. Like, there's so much in this show that's so understated and just not what we're used to that I think a lot of people are just glossing over.
Yeah, and kids feeling stupid like you are sometimes as a kid, where you do something like, oh, we really kind of screwed this up, and like we might screw up again. Yeah, I actually felt better. I felt a little bit better for Lobot when I watched her get fixed. I said, Lobot probably goes through stuff like this. And maybe I shouldn't make fun of him as much. He's probably had a tough life. And
he had an accident, Russ.
I'm a little more proud of him for what he did, seeing what happened to KB, what she went through.
See, if this was like 10 years ago, like KB would be the daughter of Lobot.
Yeah, they would have ham-fisted it.
Yeah, the only reason that she isn't is because this planet had to be disconnected since Order 66. So it's implausible.
It'll be all right, though. In the Mandalorian Big Whiskey movie, like Lobot will come out and be like, where is my niece? Where is my niece KB?
Wait, we are getting a Lando project, right? Isn't it supposed to be a Danny Glover directed series? It's going to be
directed by Danny Glover. After Patty Jenkins has finished writing the script to Rogue Squadron in the back of the Tesla.
Wow. Yeah, they just couldn't get it together on the script, right? It's so funny. Donald Glover must have been like reading it and he's like, guess what I'm not doing? Whatever this is here. This is some crazy talk. And didn't it go from a series to a movie and then disappeared? That was the order of operations. Yep.
They had to do something to keep it in the headlines. Like with that, they had to do something to keep it out there without really doing anything at the same time.
It's become I can imagine like drawing at this point, it's the lowest we can get with it.
It's like Cabin in the Woods. There must be a dry erase board at Lucasfilm after like the High Republic stuff is over. Like they must get that dry erase board. And it's like Cabin in the Woods and like, all right, who had Patty Jenkins' movie actually coming out? Like it's that level of just like there's betting odds in the office as to whether these things will actually come to fruition or not.
Dinosaurs is still on that whiteboard. That was
Star Wars About the Wars.
Yeah, those were both put on there with permanent marker by accident. Still haven't got them.
What a time capsule. Utterly criminal. It's just crazy. I bet you they didn't use the whiteboard before or after that. They busted it out for that because they were filming the video that day of the brainstorm session. It's probably still on.
Yeah, they went back to the
It's
dartboard.
been on so long you can't even wipe it off. That's the problem with those whiteboards. Sometimes you have to get that special spray, and they can't afford that.
Yeah,
Well, they use Sharpie. They use Sharpie.
That's another good point.
Yeah,
That's how confident
move.
they were. We'll never have to use this dry erase board again. That's how great our ideas are.
It was day one, and an administrative assistant was like, "Okay, we got this board. I got Sharpies for it. Here you go."
And they said, "No,
What do you mean
we're
it's
just
not
going
a
to dry
pad?
this on the wall. We don't even. There's nothing that needs. This is never changing when we're writing here."
You're right. Lucas
Right,
came
the
in.
Old Testament.
He's like, hey guys, I got us a dry erase board, but I only brought Sharpie, so make sure you've got
your
good
ideas good.
ideas. Anyways, I've got a number 5 coming from Kung Pao Eatery. I'm gonna go take a look at.
Zenger, did you see the quote from Lucas about Wicked where he told John Chu or he contacted John Chu and he's just like, oh, like I was at the mall and decided to watch it. Can you imagine sitting in a showing of Wicked and you see George Lucas walk in? Like, imagine just like the level of palpable excitement of seeing George Lucas in a Wicked showing.
I know he mentioned that. I know how hard CG is. So good job, because I know how hard all that you did had to be.
God, I would love to be in there, just be like sitting there with a huge thing of popcorn, have a tap on my shoulder. Excuse me, are you going to finish that bucket?
Oh,
George Lucas?
Yeah. I picture him like Cape Fear being so loud. With his hands back and annoying everybody, loving every little line. Every monkey he sees, he's dying.
Oh, man.
He sneaks his Chinese food into the theater.
Still steals my popcorn now.
In a dune bucket. He puts his Chinese food in a dune bucket.
Can you imagine,
savage.
Like you said, he came in a dune buggy at first. I was like, that's cool too.
Can you imagine like an uncultured Gen Z like trying to tell Lucas he can't bring all that food into the theater, not even like, knowing who he is? That's amazing.
You can't bring that in there, sir. Yeah, we'll go back to Simpsons. It's face
Perfect.
Make me a nerd.
Okay, one of my last questions about Skellington Crew. What did we think of probably the best character in the entire show, or at least the most memorable? SM33. Much
Perfect.
like
no notes.
Like I think Nick Frost did a good job.
I didn't realize it was Nick Frost. I kind of knew he was attached before, but I didn't get too deep in. At the end, I was like, oh yeah, that was Nick Frost that did that. I like it. And of course, his name is SM33 Smee, pirate, concierge reference. Very well done. You know, kind of on the nose, but kids probably wouldn't know that. And that might be something they go, oh, been around.
I just liked how unkillable he was.
That was cool. It was cool when he held his head up and they were like, no, he's still here. He's helping, when he was flying the ship at the end and she had to hold his head up to do it. I did enjoy that too. Because he got lobbed off with a lightsaber. We just got to see a decapitation.
Yeah, well, I obviously I object to him being called Smee big time. Like, why? What else would you expect? But because like the real Star Wars droids don't have joke names like that. Well, the only ones that do are the Disney park action figure like holiday droids, which is basically what this guy is, I guess. But they all make jokes about Halloween and Christmas and stuff. And also, it's just like, there's vaguely referencing another Disney property, which I also object to. So, it's just that if they didn't call out the name, like, I feel like when you first hear his name, somebody basically says Smee. That's rough. But other than that,
they call him 33 for like the entire time afterwards. So I even forgot he had I even forgot that he had like any other designation other than 33.
Yeah. But he's good other than that, obviously. He's just your substitute K2SO, basically.
Yeah, he's way less effective, too, especially when he comes out with all those riches and jewels around his neck and is immediately defeated. So he wasn't a end-all for anybody. K2 had to have a very dramatic scene. I think we watched 33 get killed or incapacitated at least 4 or 5
multiple times.
Series, yeah. So
and he was once defeated with logic.
Oh yeah, you get tricked by kids with takesy backsies and claimsies, and that's
close enough.
We learned some lore about how pirates work, which is much like pirates I guess, worked here too, where you can just claim things. You have to have rules and certain. Plasma hourglasses are turned, and they're that I enjoyed that actually.
Throw him out of the space lock. I mean, the airlock.
Yeah, get some Star Trek vibe in there. We're gonna shoot him out like he's a dead Spock. That was kind of cool. No one's ever threatened to airlock anybody in Star Wars.
God, I just want Vader to say that now.
There's no way that's the first guy to be thrown out an airlock in Star Wars.
I know it's not.
It can't be, I know, but it's. I guess maybe on the biggest stage. It's not like you're
doing
doing
the sad thing. I'm thinking of Endgame. I was like, no, there's the one that got Oh, nope, that's Endgame.
I mean, I know it happens in every single Alien movie, but there must be one Star Wars in it.
Well, for a reason. They always got to get something off the ship. There's never an acid spitting alien yet. Maybe Rathdar.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even try to do it to the Rathdars.
How could we forget, boys? It happens to Leia in Episode 8.
Yeah. The best Star Wars movie. Just
so Chris,
leave that there.
Going back to Star Wars,
because we all agreed, we were all nodding to each other. This is why audio sometimes takes away from it.
Yeah.
Chris, how do you feel that the only piece of like SM33 merchandise is like a 5 POA figure that's not even out yet?
I think you'll get a Black Series, probably not a TVC, since Jod is the only TVC so far, and I think there's not even been any announced. Because why start making the kids? You're never going to finish making the kids. Why even start?
Because what? They're just That's what I mean. Though. It's kind of weird that, like, again, the merchandise for the show, again, like outside of the one like Jod Nana Wood vintage collection I found at Walmart months ago, I have not seen any other Skeleton Crew merchandise with the exception of the Lego set.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah, you got to give them some credit for having all the main characters and one villain on Black Series, like as the show premiered. Like, I don't like Black Series that much, but like it's been a while since they had like a like healthy offering of stuff at the launch of a show. Like, I think they had 6 figures on Black Series. It's pretty good.
Really, it came out like they almost timed it just right. But I think a lot of that's also them delaying the show like over a year.
Yeah, that was the whole reason.
But here's the question, though, Chris. Like this is where I need you to put your toy brain hat on. Think about it. Like in the Onyx Cinder Lego set, and this is for you too, Zenger, you get Jod and the 4 kids. There's going to be clearly a Skeleton Crew set with 33 in it. So what would that be? What would be another Lego Skeleton Crew set? Like what? One of the little pirate like Ravager ships? Like
it'd be hard. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're going to make, much like Omega, and they put Omega like in the Cad Bane like $200 ship set. So if you want to get the entire Bad Bunch, you had to sit there buy this $180 set.
The Owls little like
observatory.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that really going to sell?
Hopefully, it's the volume.
If you put 33 minifig in there, it will sell.
Or you make. I don't know. That was
I mean, I would like a Super Nintendo Chalmers set, but that doesn't have 33 in it, so it wouldn't be that.
Supervisor Nintendo Chalmers.
Why would it need it? It's just going
to be a B-Wing or something. I don't know.
That'd be cool. That'd be an easy one for them to do, like a B-Wing with like 33.
Why not?
Why not?
I feel like there's something more.
Well, they're used to do an actual pirate ship set. They already have like a yo-ho, all board cannons and everything. Like, yeah, you get it.
Too big.
No. I got it. The transport. So I can get like the mini fig of the little pilot. Yeah.
Oh,
make them run around.
I think you make the pirate bar set. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the pirate transport is a good 3-inch set that you could charge $50 for with 3 minifigures. I think Zinger's on something there. You know, and half of it's a bubble, so it's not even many pieces.
It isn't.
I think they have Little Republic credits. Thousands of them.
Yeah, that was the most obvious use of the volume, was like the pirate, like bootleg Narshada. Like it's literally just a circle of like flea market stands on the volume, and then for some reason they're also in outer space. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's
nowhere from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the exact same place.
Yeah, it really was. That was definitely when you get the vibes of that.
Yeah, I will give them some credit for having some space prostitutes that the kids interact with, and one of them is like
Space
Gargan.
concubine.
See, but those reminds me of like prostitutes you would see in like a kids movie or somewhere. Like, hey, you kids, you got to get out of here. You shouldn't be here. And maybe as a kid, you don't know exactly what's going on, but you learn later. Yeah, that is that's an 80s-esque element of a kids movie where they would just treat it quite adult with just the kids doing their thing.
Yeah, the only thing she was missing was a cigarette while talking to them. Like a death stick of some kind. Yeah. And then it would have been like, they're so close. It's what a weird world, right? Like, you were allowed to show Jude Law put a blade right to a kid's neck, but but the prostitute better not have a cigarette. Better not. That's not, that scene really blew me away. It was like, seeing him actually holding the kid at knife point, I was like, interesting. I feel like this is one of those things that should affect, like, you see
children with guns in one episode when they're on the Lord of the Flies planet. We see children with guns.
But if blasters were if blasters were considered guns in Star Wars, I don't think Disney would be able to lift a finger in terms of producing content. So
even in Andor in the flashbacks on with him as a child, those kids aren't carrying guns, are they?
No, they didn't really have much technology there.
That's what I mean. Like this show weirdly pushes the envelope in very subtle ways.
Well, it's all in honor of, E.T. stuff like that. Before they digitally
that was my favorite scene in
E.T.
when the prostitute came up. No, I love that scene.
The prostitute had a flashlight.
No. Instead of, they still had the walkie-talkies, but instead of them digitally replacing guns with walkie-talkies, they just gave the kids straight up guns this time. And walkie-talkies.
Zenger's like, that's what Spielberg did in 2002. He didn't replace the guns with walkie-talkies. He replaced the prostitutes with walkie-talkies.
At least he made up for it when he went back into Poltergeist and he replaced all their flashlights with guns. They were going to shoot him. This makes more sense now. Thank you. Shoot this ghost.
I'm gonna shoot the ghost.
All plausible. I don't actually know if Spielberg did that, and I kind of believe that it's totally plausible that he did. But if you're watching E.T. and you're telling me that there's not any offside background characters through that whole movie, it was made in like the early 80s. I'm somehow doubt it. But I don't know, man. It's safe. It's real safe. It's like, you can hold a knife to a kid, but like obviously, like Jod really has a heart of gold since he was trained in the way of the Jedi, so he's not gonna actually attack any kids, which does explain his absolute incompetence in the final sort of action sequence in the control tower, because he has like 4 people at gunpoint and he got the lightsaber and he still just manages to fumble it. All he had to do was stop a kid from getting to a lever, and like
but KB came in, he didn't know about that.
Wait a second. I just had something dawn on me. This show disproves what happens if you drop a lightsaber straight down ignited
in the ground. True.
It just kind of just bounces off.
Yeah, he definitely ignited it upside down, which I thought.
And he let go of it, and instead of like dropping to the center of the planet, it just kind of fumbled off into the distance.
That's what happens to Luke's lightsaber on Despin. It just kept going down through space forever.
Yeah,
Tomas Kanata caught it at one point.
Had their cores destroyed by their errantly dropped weapons, just falling through the dirt.
I feel like it happens a couple times in the prequels too, where it just sort of turns off as it gets knocked out of somebody's hand. Just because we don't want to deal with what would happen if it didn't.
That's there's an entire Rick and Morty episode that deals with that exact thing.
$1 million idea. Imagine gravity, but it's Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from Bespin. It just tears through every planet in the galaxy.
Well, it's coming. Much momentum going on.
Wait. Wasn't that the premise for one of the High Republic books? Was like,
I thought Force
debris
Awakens was
flying through hyperspace.
Yeah, it's like the first book, the Great Disaster.
Yeah, exactly. But instead, it's just Luke's hand.
Yeah, it just looks like
middle finger up, just flying through space.
Until Maz Kanata caught it and turned it off.
We saw
it's like, where did you get that thing?
That's for another day.
Exactly.
Please.
It was the second Great Disaster.
We saw how long it took Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon's trying to cut through a door. Takes him a while. So like as long as you're not like on an iceberg, you'll be able. It's going to be a pain, but you'll be able to pick it up.
What if it
stays on?
I think Zenger had a point. What if it's in? What if you're in Lightspeed and an activated lightsaber starts twirling at you in Lightspeed? We're gonna warm knife through butter.
We're gonna eject your lightsaber, going light speed. We've already seen something almost get ejected from the cargo hold. Yeah, throw a lit lightsaber out of a hyperspace window.
That's what Vader was doing when he designed the flaw in the Death Star. Just throw an activated lightsaber in the exhaust port.
He's looking at his whiteboard, going, "It's time to grab the Sharpie." All right, I know how we're doing this.
Oh
now.
no, it's a Sharpie.
Yeah, no. He was sitting there and he was like, I got it. There are so few Jedi left because obviously they were all killed. The only thing that can destroy this Death Star is an ignited lightsaber down the exhaust port. There's not a ton of those just lying around or a ton of Jedi that could just have one.
You have to get duct tape to hold the button down.
Space duct tape. Thank you.
Oh my God.
What's a duct?
No, space duck tape. Like, it's not. There's a space duck. I'm trying to make the joke of there's a space duck.
I am too. That was actually a line from Luke. That was,
very sweaty jokes
Sorry,
tonight.
I'll save it.
Imagine a lightsaber duel where both guys just use the Force to turn the switch off on both each other's lightsabers constantly.
Isn't that what's his name does? Quimir? Is that what he does to Jackie? Like he turns his lightsaber off like midway through dueling?
Metal in his helmet, when it hits it, it deactivates it. Yeah. It's that
no, like even when he like perforates Jackie, like that's think about like when was the last time you saw someone use their lightsaber activator as like a tool during a duel? Like that's never been done before.
I'm sure it's been done in Visions because none of you watched it.
I guess, yeah, Ray did it. Well, she turns it off and drops it. Like that's
pretty much the same thing. It goes on and off within like 2 seconds. Yeah, I actually, at least that's how I remember it. The last time I watched it several years ago, I recall that's the same scene where that's around the time where like doesn't like one of the red guards just like disappears or something.
No, his weapon disappears.
He does what one of the Agent Smiths do in The Matrix Reloaded. He just floats upwards out of frame.
I must go.
He must return to his home planet as the individual animation cell just cruelly gets pulled up through the shot. All right, so it's been a while since we recorded anything.
So
does anybody want to talk? Yeah. Does anybody want to talk about the cancellation of the electrolyte? Like that was a big deal about 6 months ago, and we never discussed it. Like Chris, I can't imagine you're weeping over the lack of Quimir, Osha, May, like shenanigans. Like I can't imagine you're laying awake at night, like much like Soul just screaming Osha into the sky.
There's an analogy I so badly want to make, but I won't. But I can't do it. It's just going to derail the show horribly. But basically the strangest thing
now.
Well, it'll make it unpostable. But imagine that, an analogy that will make it unpostable. But that's the current environment we live in, guys. But the strangest thing about Acolyte season 2 being canceled to me was it's like there's such a level of righteous indignance that Lucasfilm talks towards like fans who don't like stuff, and it's almost like it's like Velma season 2. It's like, oh yeah, you don't like Acolyte? Well, you better believe you're getting to season 2. Like that's the attitude. That's the way they speak to the grumpy fans most of the time. So like having something like that canceled, like and the cancellation announcement was like in sync with the finale, basically, right? If I remember correctly, like it was right around that week. I don't know if it was before or after, but it was like real close to the show wrapping up. And you had Amandla Stenberg going on social media complaining about being canceled because of all the idiots on social media, basically like lead actor directly placing the blame on complaining fans on the internet. And Lucasfilm makes no comment confirming or denying that. It's just it's great because it's like it's I don't think the Acolyte was even that bad, but like
no,
it's good. It's good to see that they feel some responsibility to observe how their media is being enjoyed rather than just saying we know best every single time, which has been the attitude so far. I mean, should you listen to the internet? I don't know. When there's times where everyone gets behind a good movie and no one like rips on it. It does happen at least once a year. You know, Star Wars
Law of
should
averages.
be. Yeah, like The Substance. Like, no, did anybody really hate The Substance? I
Everyone
never saw
loves
them.
The Substance. I haven't even seen it, but I can't wait to because everyone's like, "This is the best horror that is ever horror." You have to see it.
Exactly. If somebody doesn't like it, their dislike is mild to the point that they're not like screaming in the streets about it. You know what I mean?
Like, I think even people that hated Acolyte before it started and maybe in the beginning, by the end, were like, "All right, I'm kind of in. All right, I'm in." And like, "Oh no, it's too late. It's gone. Sorry." It's like I hate that they even had to say anything. Give it a little time to breathe. It's like not every. Don't. They kind of played into it, you know. Fine, you hate it so much. It's like, but by the end of it, I think even a lot of people that hated it wanted to see where it was going. But it's the barrage, though, social and messing with the actual stars of the show. I guess they gotta.
Yeah. Well, she also made like a music video, like basically complaining about fans, which is like one of the most cringe things I've ever seen.
What you should do when you're being trolled is to do something very cringy that you can easily be trolled for. That's just usually the best response.
And God forbid if you get the age of a Jedi wrong. Ugh.
Well, that's
Jedi birthdays are very sacred, Zenger. Damn it!
God. What is Wikipedia therefore otherwise?
It all comes back to him. I love this
guys.
show.
Thank God Yoda explicitly states his age, and you know what I mean. Like under Lucas's watch, can be like he says exactly how old he is, and we have a ABY date for his comment. Oh,
perfect! Thank God we watch him turn to a ghost on a screen, and we know when he's gone, and he can come back. So he basically can always exist in some form.
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, sure.
There's at least 900 or 1,000 years.
Exactly. There's like 600 years of his life that hasn't been shown yet. So, you know, we're all in
don't
for
worry,
it.
we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. We'll show every minute of it.
Guys, we're getting older. We're not. There's a lot of stuff we're not going to see. I don't mean to bring the show down. Even young Zack over there. But
yeah.
There's going to be some stuff they're going to be around for.
Once the Gen 1 audience falls off, like, it'll be reboot time, I think. They just know that this big spenders aren't going to tolerate that right now. That's
when women them are in their 20s, they're gonna come out and we're gonna be like a lot older. Look, it's young Wim. Oh, I remember him. Oh, look, he's a Jedi Master now, and he helps Grogu.
Rey's teaching him how to be a Jedi, like in his 50s.
He could get sucked into that. Yeah. Him and Broom Boy become they become good and evil.
Broom Man.
Broom Man becomes the bad guy later. Broom Man is radicalized.
What if Win is actually Finn from Force Awakens?
He gets kidnapped by the First Order.
And his dad is Lando. And Lobot.
No, you got.
Wait, that's KB. Sorry,
they got Finn's baby pictures on. Kylo Ren looks at Finn's baby pictures in the Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, he does. They covered themselves there. Thank God.
No,
has anyone else got complaints about the Acolyte?
I mean, sure. Gave you so much at the very end. Why were they allowed to go so big and then cancel themselves? That doesn't seem fair.
The Kai Mundi death threats really got to some people, I guess. But don't worry. I'm sure one of the executive orders somebody's going to sign will make it non-canon or something.
Well, that's the thing is they're sitting there trying to appease everybody, and when you appease everybody, you appease nobody, and that's the thing. It's. I heard I think it was Lucas where he sits there and he was interviewed one time. He's like, if I came out with this stuff, if I came out with Star Wars now, it would never go out there because it wouldn't please everybody.
And my problem is the reason I'm upset with it is because I didn't think they go far enough. I think it should have been blatant that the Jedi were like, hey, you can't use the Force. It's our thing. And then the Space Witches are like, oh, yeah, make us. And then they just kill them.
But that would take a complete thought. And that's the thing is they don't have a complete thought with these things. And that's it's all knee-jerk responses. It's like when we were talking about the Book of Boba Fett. The thing is this. They come in there. They have these production meetings. And they sit there. Wouldn't Boba Fett
dinosaurs
be cool on the top of a Rancor? Yeah, I could see that now. Oh,
that was on the whiteboard.
Yeah, and we're going to put him in a we're going to put him in a back-to-tank for half the show. Yeah.
He'll be the best part.
He's going to come out
You
and
won't know it.
whacked in the head by Jawas and you take his armor because that dude in The Mandalorian season 2 was wearing it. So that's the
Hey,
it
that
connects the
guy in the
dots.
2015 novel was wearing it.
It connects the dots. Yeah. So and what they're doing is they're playing around with things and they're very fast and loose and seeing how they can connect the dots with these things. And all of this stuff is done on ChatGPT now, so I don't understand what they're doing.
Wow.
Don't be
Russ is
talking about
holding
my
up.
boy Cobb Vanth like that, all right? I'm literally like wearing his
Dude,
shirt.
I just had like the craziest flashback to Timothy Oliphant in a back to tank, and that's how what that how Mandalorian season
That's
3
how it ended.
ended.
We had to
Oh
fix
my
it.
God.
That's how Book of Boba Fett ends. It's Timothy
oh
Oliphant in
my
the back to
gosh.
tank.
And you know what? Talk about the show you want.
McDreamy's going to come back? Oh.
Look, one of the things we love about Star Wars, and I actually had this thought today about Skeleton Crew, is like how toyetic. I know that's a term that has been thrown around what toyetic a show is. Book of Boba Fett had a ton of merch and toys, regardless of if people liked it or not. I had a trouble. Skeleton Crew is not that toyetic. Of all the Star Wars things, that and Andor, I'd say are the least like, what do you make from this to sell? So think of the Andor merch, a couple of characters maybe, not even he don't even have his U-wing, so it's not even that. What from this? You mentioned the Lego stuff. It's a good point though.
I finally got the Parks exclusive B2 emo, like the 3 3/4 one. That took a while to find that.
I really want that. That is very cool. Yes. I was about to say B emo is the only kind of toyetic thing in that show.
Although
Well, Russ. A brick can be toyetic.
Well, he has a little more personality than a brick.
Band? Maybe you put the band together with all the bagpipes or whatever they were playing at the end there. No, probably not.
But even think of the ship that Luthen has that has all the countermeasures. You can do I think all of this stuff has merchandise possibilities. Even if they were to make a Navarro level playset of the supervisor's office. That would be cool with a little lever, and it's it can be again those old Power of the Force 2 playsets where half of it's cardboard, a little part of it's plastic for $30 in one figure. That'd be pretty cool to have.
I agree.
The spa treasure chamber.
That'd be fun.
That's the Lego set that's going to have 33.
Yep. Good thinking, Zenger. It has John Nana Wood with a lightsaber, so that's it. That's your angle again.
So you get your do. Yeah.
They made a cardboard Kessel Mine playset, and they had no regard, and then you could get it for $5. When they all were on clearance after.
Rush, don't say that part. Don't say the clearance part.
I have it. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I didn't. I paid full price, of course.
You bought it at Target for $50 back in the summer of 2018.
Of course.
But you sit there and you look at it, though. You sit there and look at the price of the Star Wars figures now. Any of those vintage series or any of them are what, $20? Some of the cheaper Star Wars ones are $9. Are those meant for kids?
No, I don't think a lot of it is.
A parent's not going to pay $20 for a little action figure that they bought when they were a kid for 99 cents. It's detached.
Yeah, I'm holding a Cobb Vanth figure that I've actually been waiting for them to put this guy out for so long. They finally do. And they make it the most expensive 3 3/4 figure ever. This is $25. Actually, someone gave me this for Christmas.
And if you go to your local Target.
Now, clearance them out.
$7.
Yes, now they are. But when they came out,
After Russ bought it.
I mean, someone gave it to
they're
me.
Pricing out the stuff. The kids aren't going to buy toys like that. Parents aren't going to buy toys like that for their kids because what are the kids going to do? The kids are going to open it, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to preserve it as a collector market. They're not focusing at kids that are 4 or 5 anymore. They're focusing at kids that are going to be 30 and 40. They're not focusing at kids anymore. They're focusing at people with the money.
But I think a breaking point has happened with a lot of people, and especially you guys know if you all the Phantom Menace toys, Attack of the Clone toys. We all went through that thing a few years ago. We realized these aren't worth anything. They're never going to be worth anything. Let's take them out. Let's set them up. They're cool. Take it out. I think a lot of modern collectors have kind of gone to diorama making and stuff too. So these figures will sell just because you do want to take them out. I am I think unless it's something very specific and rare, most people know modern Star Wars toys are not going to be worth that much. It's not like that much of a speculator market. With new stuff, you just got to love it and want to do stuff with it, I think.
Now, what the kids really need while they're working on the great work, once they do their assessment and everything, is a Knights of Vader mug.
Oh, no.
Yes, Knights of Vader mug. Super Sith Vitality.
Man, that's a deep cut. That
This-
is a relic from a Knights of Vader era long ago.
I
have one
had
too.
to clean dust off of this.
Oh, Jesus.
It was in the
Took the
back
pencils
of-
out before
it
he opened.
No.
Yeah.
It was in the back of my cabinet, resting right beside my Unbeliever one.
Oh.
That's an unbelievable one.
Well,
not
yeah. Sorry, Unbelievable.
I have no responsibility over that, and I have one as well, but it has a bunch of trading cards and pens in it for sure. And nice, and everything else the weirdos made.
Oh man.
But that's the thing. In the 70s and 80s, you go down a toy aisle, and half of it was Star Wars toys. Everything was Star Wars. You had TIE fighters, you had X-Wings, you had B-Wings, you had Millennium Falcon. You had all of the major characters, and even some of the characters that had maybe 2 minutes or less of screen time on it. They were all there.
Well,
But now you sit there and you get a handful of characters. You always get a Darth Vader. You always get a Luke Skywalker. You get a Boba Fett. You have the Mandalorian. You have Baby Yoda. And that's it.
yeah, I think that's the
That's
price
all they're
point
doing.
thing. Because you're sort of looking at it like Hasbro's doing the whole thing, and the costs have gone up so much that, like, you know, if you're lucky enough to live in the latest state of America, Canada, you can go to Toys R Us, and there's still a Star Wars
What?
aisle.
What?
There's still a Star Wars aisle
Hey,
in the current day, and there's vehicles there. They're just the Jazzwares Micro Galaxy Squadron.
You've only got
one.
those?
Toys are.
They're loaded up at
Us?
Toys R Us, but they're
I
not.
thought you
Like,
said you never could find those.
Saying
they're
that
not
word.
current. They have
Toys
weird
R
stuff.
Us,
Like they have the Falcon, a bunch of Falcons, and then
Oh,
the
geez.
Falcon with TIE interceptors.
Oh, God.
then,
That
like-
stuff came out like in 2022 for us.
Yeah. And then there's like an episode 3 set that has like 2 Jedi starfighters
Yep.
and a couple of droid ships or something. Like, you know, that stuff, they just, you know, they have a ton of that. But the current single small vehicles, it's pretty sparse up here. GameStop's
Yeah, they're gonna give
once
it
in a
up
while
on
you get them.
on the little vehicles, and I mean, I always see it's stocked at Target, Walmart, and even I know I think I brought this up in the show. I have an FYE at my not defunct mall, and they have a ton of figures there always. And it's
They're only
got a-
300% MSRP.
And there's all the funky. Actually, they're really cheap there. There's always the
Really?
funky bunch, and yeah, it's not actually that bad. They're actually pretty cheap there. Like, I had to go shopping for someone yesterday and actually looked through. I said, I have not looked through these in a while. There's a bunch of stuff here, but yes, and I will go with you, Joe. There's definitely a current vintage-looking Vader, Luke, and Leia. It seems like always you can always find those. There's even that weird off-brand of figure that doesn't look like any collector would ever care about them. They look like they should be in dollar stores, but they're in Walmarts. They have that light yellow packaging.
Yep, the primary
and
colors, yep.
it's like, you know, that's that. No collectors are worried about those. And there's a bunch of, it's all like the major Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and legacy characters.
Russ
Like, it's like a base set. It's like a base set of figures you would need to give to a kid. Like, here you go. This is Star Wars.
You see that yellow packaging, you're like, it's like a poison dart frog. You're like, I'm supposed to avoid that. That looks toxic.
If there's a ray on it, yeah, I'll have to get it. But that would be the only reason. There hasn't been one.
Because, you know, there's nostalgia. And if you're going to be doing something for nostalgia and trying to link, you know, the generation before, you know, look at these McFarlane figures that they get.
You got Bizarro. I've been looking
Bizarro.
everywhere for him. I've got so many of those, but I've been
But what's the price point on it? $10.
Yeah, $10.
$10
They're
to
cheap.
get
They're
that.
cheap.
And you want to know something? I got this. I got the booster gold. I got all of them. But the thing is this: I'm actually buying action figures now because, one, it's linking to my childhood. I'm not going to be taking a mortgage out of my house to get the damn stuff or to get a set of them. It's crazy. It's crazy to think. Oh yeah.
Well, these are actually the vintage ones. My oldest son was very into the superpowers line, but now his daughter We play with them, and yes, that's the old Lex Luthor. But yeah, I've been trying to. I want that Bizarro very badly. He's very.
Look at that. The Todd father comes through and makes affordable action figures, which something Hasbro just can't do. And how will he be rewarded? DC will probably just pull his license any day now.
They sell pretty well. There's a pretty good market for those superpowers toys. Like people are kind of into that lot. I have the Batmobile someone gave me. My little Alice. She has Wonder Woman's invisible jet. We were playing with it all morning today. The kids actually, she loves all those toys, the Batmobile and that, and she's like not even 2.
Russ,
like
I think you mispronounced that. Wonder Woman's invisible but very visible toy jet.
It's cool. It's got a grappling hook thing, and it's fun.
That's how you keep the base alive.
Yep.
You know, it's an olive branch to the people that, you know what, I had that when I was a kid, and I needed to get it. And once they came out with additional ones that I didn't have, I needed to get it. Like that Bizarro. Funny story about the Bizarro. I was at GameStop, and I was buying my kid Pokemon cards.
They won't sell them at Walmart. Bizarro is banned from Walmart. They don't sell him there.
This was something that a person tried to steal at GameStop, and they had it open behind the counter. And I go, "Wow, you got a Bizarro." And the lady behind the counter is like, "Yeah, someone tried stealing them."
I didn't think they would notice. It's the first time I'd seen one in public, and I got excited. I forgot my wallet.
He's like, she goes to me, "Yeah, he's our little mascot now. We can't sell him again." I was like, "Oh, I've been looking all over for that." She goes, "You want him?" I'm like, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, you can have him." I was like, "I will gladly take your Bizarro."
You stole it. They just let someone steal it anyway.
Yeah, they just let me walk out the door with it. Meanwhile, my daughter's sitting there looking at me. It's like, "I can't believe you did that, Dad." I'm like, "What? She gave it to me."
The best part of that story that he left out was like the person was trying to like cajole him into getting like a GameStop Pro reward card.
Yeah. No.
What happened to me
said no after that.
Ago. Like, you know, your GameStop thing actually went up like a year and a half ago. Do you want to?
What do you reserve?
Like, $25 today.
Oh my
Get
God.
this magazine no one reads, if that even still exists.
They canceled it.
No, they canceled.
Yay!
That's gone. But they're trying to lean into. They need physical things to sell. So GameStop does have figures and stuff. Bizarro only available at GameStop, evidently. And they've gotten into trading cards, like Pokemon cards, football cards, baseball cards, and like card accessories, like card collecting books and sheet books and protectors. Like they need something physical.
See, you need to get the perfect fit sleeve so you can put your sleeved cards inside of other sleeves.
Yes.
Well, the other thing that they're doing is they're grading cards now too. So if you have a card that you want graded, they'll actually send it out and they'll send it out to grade it for you.
They give you a little discount if you got them. Yes, I believe you are right. That is the angle they are taking. They are kind of moving into that world because they need to sell something physical if they want these actual stores to exist. They are basically a toy store where you can see videos of new games coming. So they've got a huge TV screen, and you can be like, "Wait, Civilization 7 is a thing?" They're like, "Yeah, it's right here, and it's on PS5."
Well, I still buy physical copies of games that I really want. You know, like otherwise, if you didn't buy a physical copy of Concord, you know, they would have just taken it away from you.
Well, they took Friday the 13th away from me.
They did. Man, 2017. What a year.
I know. Tapped Out and Friday the 13th, both lost media now, gone forever.
I know. All we have now is our memories.
But you want to know what isn't lost media? Star Wars Episode 1, Star Wars Episode 1, Jedi Power Battles. Yes, it's back and on Steam, and I have played it, and man, it has aged like milk on a sunny cliff.
Now, hold on. I heard they added new playable characters. I heard you can play as Jar Jar. You can play as a battle droid, right?
It actually is. Like, it was funny because I did not realize how much nostalgia I had for this game until I started playing it. I was like, oh, wait, there's a secret over here. And I was like, oh, my God. It's all coming back.
It's so hard. After the third level, it's like, forget it. Maybe if you had Jar Jar, you could jump really high.
You can switch certain characters' lightsabers because before, the movies actually told us what lightsaber colors everyone was. They have the original and the canon lightsaber colors.
Yeah, they have Mace with the purple one on the cover of the new one.
Yep.
They'll let you know that's their.
Yep. instead
That's
of
a
I
dog
think
whistle
blue.
that we know, guys. We heard
Outrageous.
your complaints. I know. It's egregious. I hate it.
They shouldn't have even let you turn as saber purple in that game. That's a crime. But
It is because even on the packaging, it's still blue, right?
No.
packaging.
I mean, see here, look, see, so you can see my Steam account.
wow, there it is. There's Mace with his
there.
purple
There's Joe.
saber.
No, I meant like on the original
there's
PS1 graphic.
Yeah, on the original graphic, it's blue.
Yeah, the original was blue.
Yeah, this gives me hope because I'm trying to think. Like, I used to really, really feel good about having all the like original Xbox Star Wars games on the like physical media, and they've remastered just about everything now. The only thing that they haven't remastered is the amazing Episode 1 game that's simply called Obi-Wan on Xbox. Someday, man.
Oh yeah. Because it had that green effect.
Played.
Yeah,
You can't play it. I don't think. At least I can't. Well, I guess I could.
I think you need the original Xbox to play that.
I think you need Xbox 360. No, they don't sell
Not
digitally.
even.
Because I tried to, I think, buy a physical copy, and I was like, what can I do to play this? They're like, I don't know.
Good luck.
You need a 2001 Xbox.
Speed up the harvest or something. I don't know what that has to do with it.
Yeah, but that's a great game, and it features cortosis from the Acolyte as a key plot point. But you know, that's all that to say. I already sort of forgot most of Skeleton Crew by the time we sat down to have this podcast, and it was very fun to be reminded of the Lord of the Flies planet, which
That's
I totally
what I
ejected
forgot.
from my brain.
I remember everything. When you said there was kids with guns, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Neil had a whole speech about how he lives on a non-combat planet where they don't touch each other, they don't do anything, right?
And he just sits in a bathtub.
And you know, we got to see like a metric ton of gold coins fall on a kid and somehow didn't kill them. All kinds of exotic things happen in this show, and most importantly, Teak from the Battle of Endor and holiday special member berries.
And we also got Fuzzball from Captain EO.
Yes.
Captain EO is canon now to Star Wars.
That's right.
Awful.
Michael Jackson is out there in this universe. He's running free with his own crew of people. We don't know what he's getting up to. Maybe Urkel can track him down and stop his evil ways.
Imagine wanting to remind people of Michael Jackson in any way in a Star Wars property. I just don't understand it personally, but what can you do?
We need more villains. No, Michael Jackson's great. He's fine.
And dead.
Dead.
All right.
All right. Are we good to wrap this up or
no, we got to keep going. No.
Okay, who wants to talk about Ryan Gosling maybe being in a Star Wars movie that'll never come out?
Is Patty Jenkins doing it?
No, Sean Levy.
No, it'll happen.
All right. So conclude this episode of the Knights of Vader Star Wars podcast. Check out the Facebook group. Type in Knights of Vader in the Facebook, and we will be there waiting for you. At KOV Podcast on Instagram. Give Chris a reason to start posting on that account again. If you like what you hear, please rate, review, subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, whatever platform you're currently listening to us on. Thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. Check out the show notes to hear more from them.
And they have a new song out on YouTube.
They have a lot of new songs out. Like Rob must have gotten really wasted one night because like the YouTube subscription page just like blew up. I'm like, man, it was a productive Friday night in the McAndrew household.
Out of nowhere, yes. All these Insperiority Complex tracks came up. I listened to them. Go check it out. I wish I could remember the name of the song, but just go find them. They're being posted the last few days. Good stuff.
Yes. Yeah, support Rob. Support Rob's passions in life. That do not include the Cinemoddities podcast, which you will not be hearing me on because at some point, Chris, Rob, and I are supposed to record like the latter part of Monstober. That never happened. It's now up there. At least we didn't record that, whereas Monstober 2023 was recorded and he never did anything with it. Am I better? Maybe. But when you are not listening. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I was just going to say, you know, I did really enjoy the 2 Monstober episodes that we did. And if you haven't checked them out, it's Goosebumps and Substance.
Chris, real quick, this to bring us back to like Star Wars. Going back to the electrolyte, because you're the only person on this call that actually watched Goosebumps with Carly Beth. Is Osha the Carly Beth of Star Wars, just hearing the name 1,000 times in every single episode? Like there must be like a super cut of every single time a character in the electrolyte says Osha, 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 Osha. Like every episode of that show has that name being said at least 12 times.
I think it's because you have an actor playing twins. So I think there's almost probably almost as many Mays. So like the best supercut would just be alternating OSHA and May.
No,
I
May came out
May
later.
a lot more.
Yeah.
May, don't do this. May, you must stop. May.
Yeah, I now that you mention it, it's comparable, but it's
Thank you. That's all. I just had the idea a couple days ago, and I wanted to run it by you.
It's no Ray with Finn screaming it. Come on.
No. Well, a couple times, but no. Only John Boyega can so emphatically scream Ray. All right, Russ. When you are not talking about yelling other characters' names, what are you up to?
Check out Unbelievers Podcast. We just started season 7, year 7. Did an episode about the Bradshaw Ranch in Sedona, Arizona, and go check it out. More fun stuff to come. New episodes coming. Unbelievers Podcast on YouTube too. Check that out. Because we do bonus episodes and they're great. We do them online, and then 3 days later, YouTube blocks our videos for playing a news story about an egg being retrieved. So
What?
Oh,
Russ, not to spoil or bury the lead, but isn't that the one where the guy has the katana that he attacks aliens with?
yes.
Or am I thinking of it? Oh, okay, good, awesome.
you got that's also for some reason.
No. That's not Skinwalker Ranch. That is not Skywalker Ranch. That is Stardust Ranch. Yeah, John Edmonds. Okay. This is a completely different one called Bradshaw Ranch.
They use a mace.
It's Terry Bradshaw's face on a bar of the ranch, but no, this place is great because it's got Bigfoot gifting stations and portals and aliens and Bigfoots with breasts. A lot going on at this ranch.
Whoa! Yeah. They're on the spa planet.
And I'm just so you guys know, I'm joining the religion of the 20-foot egg UFO that was shown on News Nation last week.
Oh my God!
Yay!
Yes. I'm in it too, and that's what got us our YouTube video blocked, was just simply watching the news of it. But yeah, go check out that egg.
Oh my God! All right, Zenger, what sort of shenanigans are you up to?
Playing 3 decades old Star Wars games on Steam now because I think I might be right on that.
You get
no, almost 3 decades old Star Wars games on Steam. You of course check out ZengThis. We did the obligatory Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode in November. So you can check that out. There might be new episodes, might not. I don't know. We're kind of on hiatus.
Yeah,
until Zack does Monstober, yes. ZengThis refuses to release the whatever year of the Zengies.
Yes, 2018 Zengies.
Yes, they will never be released.
I want to. I think if we're gonna do some more Knights of Vader, I feel like we need to broaden our horizons a little bit. Maybe more
alien discussions.
Maybe do a book club episode, or maybe
I tried doing that. They never got off the ground.
I know you did. You had High Republican us, or
That's what I do. This entire time we're recording High Republic reviews, and no one's noticed.
But there was so much going on at the time. Look what are you talking about? Boba Fett's flying out of Sarlacc. Why I want to talk about some old
fever dream of Boba Fett flying out of Sarlacc.
Cool.
See, you tricked me with Rise of Skywalker once. You ain't tricking me twice.
No, I'm talking something good, like a Dark Horse trade paperback or something.
Oh, dear.
I would be down.
I'll see what I have multiple copies of. I'm willing to invest a couple $100 in mailing out trade paperbacks to these guys just to get us to talk about some actual good Star Wars for a change. We're forgetting what it's all about.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris. Oh my God, Chris! You know what came the other day? The Hot Toys Darth Revan. I now am the ultimate poser of never playing KOTOR.
That's cool.
Oh
I
my
saw
God.
a giant Revan at actually a GameStop. They have a big Revan statue at GameStop. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, you know what I saw at GameStop? A
Bizarro Superman?
A Revan costume for sale at GameStop last week.
Really?
How strange.
What a time to be alive.
Okay.
Helmet there. Anyway.
What size was it?
Man.
The correct answer is not big enough.
I saw a customer inside of a GameStop the other week. It was weird.
That was me trying to steal the
For the record, I was standing outside walking by.
Were they trying to steal the Bizarro?
And they
Yes,
took it
they
back
were.
in, and now Joe is flaunting it in my face.
That was the bait and switch. Joe knew Russ was going to be in there trying to steal it, so that
Zenger
was the
got tired.
1-2 punch. All right, Joe, when you are not stealing Bizarro action figures, what are you up to?
It's not stealing if it was gifted to you
He's
by the
liberating
employee.
them.
Tell that to the prosecutors.
I will. I actually had a recording of it too that I'll make available online. Are you sure you want to give this to me without collecting any money for it? Yes. Okay. So I'm not legally obliged to do anything now.
Tell Russ about the Mothman. Show him Mothman.
Mothman. Ooh. So me and Zack are coming up with our own little venture of like little collectibles that we could do. And he came up with the idea of doing cryptids.
That's like the statue.
Accurate.
It looks like the Freshetta version of the statue.
Wait, how tone is that one's butt?
Turning around.
Yeah,
I need to see the he's got a cape on.
Covered. It's covered.
All right. I'll wait for the big reveal. But that is very impressive, Joe. That is very, very cool.
And then to go along with Bizarro, we got a little Bigfoot.
A little baby Bigfoot. What the hell? What's going on? This is great.
So we're gonna be doing that soon, hopefully. And I think the other two that we're gonna be putting out is gonna be the Mongolian death worm and the chupacabra.
Perfect. That'll
round out our wave 1. So
all right, tell me how these are going to be available. What you're going to do? I'll promote this for you too on Unbelievers. Those are awesome. I want to cut.
But
I'm kidding. I just want them. They're cool.
Whatchamacallit, I'll show you the card backs that we got.
The card back's even cooler than the figure.
Card backs. Okay. This is great.
So those I don't have available right now, but I'll be able to put them in the Facebook group. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Just hanging out and doing that stuff.
But yeah,
Nice.
There's more. Okay, we are putting Mothman to the screen. There's so much Mothman like iconography on an audio podcast.
Hold on.
But that's the one thing is like Zack likes his Mothman more Mothra.
Yes, I do.
He doesn't like it manly. He likes it more Mothra.
Oh wait, hold on a second.
Wait, let me move my mic.
Yeah, and then
there he is. Anyway,
and I got that one.
But yeah, so we're doing the little 3D printing thing, everything like that. So
nice.
It's getting there.
Those are great. That if you 3D printed both those, especially that little baby Bigfoot, that looks great. That looks awesome, man.
Yeah, someone at work actually requested it come with a base because one of his, I think it's his son or nephew has a band, and one of their songs is "I Want Bigfoot's Bass."
Yeah. Okay, first I thought you meant like a bass a figure stands on, but you literally talk about a bass guitar.
Bass guitar. Like, that's going to get packaged with that particular Bigfoot. But yeah, we're working on that stuff.
Yes.
So
we're having fun. We're having non-Star Wars fun. We're melding the Star Wars into the Unbelievers world.
Isn't it great? Fun.
Actually,
I love that.
Show him the Marfalump, Zack.
Oh yeah, here's Marfalump. Just yeah, Joe made. This is what he wants to do with the cryptids.
Yes. Oh my God.
Marfalump in the back, he has his little Pepsi cans.
That thing's awesome. That's a great carded thing. Is that a 1 of 1 that he's holding there? Look at that. That Pilot Luke. Oh, with the Knights of Vader. That is great, man.
This was my Christmas present Joe gave me.
That is so cool.
Yeah, the Pepsi cans are the touch. Oh. And his shirt actually does say Star Wars on it. Like the camera's not focusing, but it does say Star Wars. Like his greasy like wife beater.
You're the theater playsets coming for him and all the.
That's so. See, he can go into the cantina. Chris needs one for the cantina when it eventually shifts to him like next year.
God, I forgot I missed out on that. Now I'm getting bummed.
Yeah. I think we're due to be solicited another Star Wars HasLab before the cantina ships if that pattern continues.
Yep.
So
what, summer?
Yeah, so we should get to see another one before I even get that. But I did get my it is the end of the show, you guys. You tried to wrap it up, but I did get my Jabba's Palace properly set up. I'll post a picture of that in the Knights of Vader Facebook group with all the most desirable 3 3/4 figures like Efont Mon.
I just got him for Christmas. Yes, the Fans Choice Efont Mon figure.
Great.
I got him. I'm not getting the Cantina. I already
Yeah,
have
if you
one,
don't
so-
have it, if you don't have an Efont Mon figure, you're basically a fake fan. It's
That figure is just like
years old.
that thing's enough plastic it'll sink to the bottom of the
so
ocean.
big. I couldn't believe it when I opened it. I put him on Jabba's throne with Jabba. I'm like, you guys are like the same guy. You are so big. How were you ever on a card? How are you a carded figure?
That card never held up like at KB Toys. It always like started to peel like away from like the blister.
It's a great figure.
Yeah,
It is.
that might have been the peak of Western civilization, putting that card figure on a card for the same price as the other figures. But you know how the mighty have fallen. Anyways,
Alrighty, folks. Good night, but not goodbye. And as always, may the Enfant Man 2002 figure be with you.
Remember Alderaan! Down with the Empire!
Editor's note: Russ is holding the figure up to the camera while Luke was talking. Oh, he's still there. Enfant Man is back with his little vibroblade.
he has a shank hidden inside his walking stick, which is wild. It's like, what's going? Yo, it goes
Russ
in
is
the
like, I didn't
bottom
know
of the
about
stick.
the shank.
Wait,
No,
where?
the other weapon goes in there.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah, it goes in the bottom.
Look at that. It does.
Yeah, even more
I didn't
dangerous.
even know that. Wait, I thought he was supposed to be dual wielding. I'm like,
24 years later, and we're still learning things about the Attack of the Clones toy line.
That's his thing. Great.
Oh, so glad I didn't cut yet.